Hey you guys, so we're down in those trees that I discussed the last time that I posted videos, when we were up on a hill that was this way to the west of here. You can't see it through the trees here, but Bria and I are going to walk through this area just around the road that we were on, come in here within about 1/8 of a mile. If that even, we're just going to do a big round pattern in here. Well, yeah, he's right up here. So while Chris is flying this, we're not going to waste time. We're just going to go ahead and walk through here some. We've got Sven. He's running up in front of us. That dog's always running. Oh, there he is. But that's what he does right there. Marco. Okay. And we're going to stay really close where we can see each other. I can see Bria. She's right there. And we're just going to walk a big radius in here. Here's that trail again, Bria. It kind of comes and goes. Yeah, it's overgrown. So Nick and I went to the top of that hill. And you guys, we were not so much searching as finding where the phone would ping, but we couldn't make calls. And we're pretty sure we isolated that area, which would be over on the hill just west, just a little bit north and a little bit west of the first spring. Marco. Okay. And you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, most of my videos, until we find Aiden, and I'm almost positive we're going to find him. I really am. I think the original searchers were right in the right ballpark, and I mean really close, and I think they just missed him. And that happens quite a bit. So nothing against them. They're right there. My phone pings is what led. So look at this, Bria. Stay away. Come over here. There's a track. I want to show you what I'm talking about, so you guys can see this. And this is old, but this is what I want to show people. See this right here? See how it looks like wholeheartedly it's a human track? But I'm going to show you what it is. This right here is where the mama horse was standing, facing to the west. And right here is where her colt was standing. They touch heels quite a bit, facing that direction. And a lot of times it'll take a peanut shape when it's in mud, and it wholeheartedly looks like a human has stepped there. Just like that is what it looks like, and it gives that wholehearted impression. But not all the times is it that, especially if you have a lot of horse tracks that have polluted it. More than likely it could be exactly what I just showed you. Not all the time. Now, I believe the tracks that were found on the ridges up here by the tracker from Wyoming, and I believe the tracks that I actually saw down in the burn, I think we can't be positive to identify those, and I do believe the ones that I saw were at a dead run. I believe it was probably an elk hunter chasing an elk, and probably the same with the tracks. But one thing we do know is the tracks that went to the midway on that hill right near the springs, we know for positive that those were Aiden's. They even found his tracks barefooted down near the creek. And we've all been up that. There's no way we believe he went up and over the hill. And if he did, he certainly, we don't believe he did it there.
It was far too steep.
And far too long.
At that time of night.
Yes.
After doing how many miles from the
At least 8,
truck?
yeah, at least 18.
18 miles?
Yep, at least.
How many miles up the mountain is it? How many feet?
So almost the entire time he had a slow climb. Almost the entire time. It's going to get really warm today and probably the rest of the summer. I am glad we were in the trees. So right here, Bria, look, here's the trail again. Can wholeheartedly see it. This is what we saw. Look, it goes there. It's just overgrown now. But this used to be a trail for vehicles. But we saw it, remember, Bria? That's the hill Nick and I climbed up, and see that last tree on the right next to the wash?
Yes.
That's where you stopped with Pebbles, and the horses came down off of that bald spot to the right when they ran down.
Oh, way
and
up
turned,
there?
Yeah. So you were on that last tree to the right in that big group, the last big bushy one that provided thing. And remember the snow? There was a snowbank up there.
Almost to the top.
Yeah. That's a steep bastard though. And that took us an hour to get up that, at least. Guys, it's a lot bigger than it looks, and trust me, it's steep. It's like that. And sometimes in the trees it's even steeper. If you fall, you're not going to stop till you get to the bottom. Let's look through here. But this is that trail that we saw from up there. Remember I said it kind of goes at an angle back towards the one that we were on in the truck? But I think this one overgrew. And I'm almost positive from the creeks, which are this way to the south, there's 3 springs, and to the burn area, which is this way to the north, from that hill on the west to the road, and maybe a little bit off the road that way, but we're almost positive he's in this area. You see Pebs? Come here, Peb. So it seems the further we go to the north.
We're getting off our...
Yeah, I know. I know. Let's bend back towards him. It seems like...
But we should do this trail, do you think? Just walk it.
Yeah, at least where it's open, yeah. But I've noticed the trees here are nowhere near as thick as back towards the creek, huh? They're not as grouped together. They're not as bushy.
It seems easier to walk.
Through this, yeah, than over there by the creek. Much definitely easier.
This, to me, would be the path of least resistance.
Yeah, and remember all the sagebrush that was about this high mixed in with the trees over there? That would be really tough to walk through at night. I think that's just like a horse trail. I think back there was probably one of the last spots we saw that from over here. And Chuck J Vlog, he walked a lot of this ridge up here. I know he did. I saw by his videos, and then he got down low on the other side.
That's where he was at? Okay.
I believe so, yeah. And then some down on the very northeast side.
Yeah, in that one video, you could tell he was up really high.
Yeah, he's by the huffing and puffing, just like what we do, so you know it's real.
Yep. Was Nick huffing and puffing, the 26-year-old?
Yep, we were all huffing and puffing.
We stayed in bed, so we outdid that 26-year-old.
Compared to the hills that we've been on the last, I guess, 2 weeks off and on, it's going to be a joy to search these woods. Because it's starting to get hot, and we'll have shade in these woods. The bugs might be thick, but I'll trade shade and bugs for for direct sunbeam when it's 90 any day of the week, especially at 6,000, 7,000 feet. We'll kind of circle back towards him. Because I know we'll re-grid search this over. We're just kind of surveying it while he's flying the drone. I'm absolutely positive we might end up walking this in a grid, and if there's only 3 or 4 of us at a time, then it's just going to take longer. So any of you volunteers that want to come from Salt Lake like Chris does, or from Wells or Windover, or Kelly Two-Stroke and Brendan, we could sure use your guys' help out here. It's like if we can get 20 people wide, all of us walking one direction with the GPS and some of the apps that show exactly where you walk. One of the things we want to make sure of is wherever we're searching, once we get down into these trees and from those 3 creeks this way, we want to make sure where we've been, we're absolutely positive he's not there. And the only way we're going to do that is to grid search and keep the line really tight. And of course, we're going to get to spots where Chris will fly that drone. And if he sees anything, it'll mark a GPS, and then we'll hike to it. And you guys, that's a tool I wholeheartedly believe in. As hard as I walk searching, I wholeheartedly believe in the drone. What a useful tool. Very useful. That's applying the right tool to the right job, huh? We're just doing little circles in here. See pebbles? No, not yet. Not like when we were up on the hill. There's probably a dead calf or something up there on that hillside where we were at, yeah. You got that too the last time when we came down off the hill, right towards the bottom, huh?
Yes.
And really close to the truck.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that too. And you know, I looked like within 60 or 70 feet, I looked, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything, nothing. And I know I was smelling it, I know I was. It's probably a calf, if I had to guess.
Oh, come on. You can stand right in the middle of it, they'll bite the hell out of you. Come on. Smell it?
Nope. I smell a lot of rotten pine. Well, you know, when these woods caught on fire, if there was any wind at all, this shit would kill you. You better be able to outrun the fire.
You couldn't outrun it, no way. You think?
You better put a turkey cooker on and run through it really fast. You know, you might even run out of oxygen. I've seen these fires move at like 30 miles an hour before.
Oh, in Texas, the one was at 90 miles an hour. One in California took out my mom's house. It was going 90 miles an hour.
First time I ever saw a wildfire, I was on the I-15 between, that's Chris, between Beaver and Cedar City. And off to the west side of the highway, there was a big fire that was moving and the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the fire was moving the same speed I was on the highway. That's scary. And it was off about a mile, and it was nighttime. But that was my first view of a wildfire. I'd seen fires in Alaska, but they don't burn like that. Very rarely do they burn really fast up there. It's just the woods are usually really wet and they don't catch on fire unless we get a big dry spell. I believe it. Plus there's all sorts of dry fuel. Come on, Pep.
Panhandle's dry. It's not like Houston.
Boy, I'm really glad I took the time with her like I did with Harper when she was little, to train her to stay next to us. Every time I look around for her, all I got to do is turn around. She's right next to me pretty much. Now you can tell it's going to get hot today. Look what he's doing already. Yeah, we're going to get some doggy packs, so they pack their own water. When we went up that hill, Bria, I was carrying 12 bottles of water, 2 Gatorades, 2 Pepsis. Oh, look. Look at that.
Are you recording?
Yeah, no, grab that. We're getting a phone call. In here, even. Wow. So the area we're in the right.